It's the show before the show.
It made me do one of those stupid little puzzle pieces before.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I couldn't even pause it.
What?
What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing because I can hear the sound. You don't have the sound out. Oh, it's just he's getting the videos set up, and one of it just made me laugh, and it just was cracking me up because
How can you hear it?
I have my earphones on. Put your earphones on. You can hear it.
It's on air?
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
It's not anymore. It was just for a second. It made me laugh. It was so funny.
But you shouldn't be able to hear what Joe's doing.
Every time I bring in a video, sometimes they'll pop up with sound. And this one, since it's a TikTok,
I got it.
They made me do a puzzle piece before I could pause it.
And that's what I was laughing at, is the puzzle piece.
I got you.
That. It made me laugh. Happy Monday, Pro Joe. Pro Joe always makes me laugh.
Morning.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the show before the show. Good morning, Ben and Bendy. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the shows, guys.
It is. Bendy's like, good morning. It's sunny. There is. I saw the sun this morning.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, it was peeking through the clouds a little bit.
For sure.
I think we're only seeing one day here in the metropolitan area of sun, and then it goes back to being cloudy tomorrow. If the weather people are correct. Okay. Make sure you come back, Joe.
Where would he go?
There's planes here, Vic. I mean, he could literally get on a plane and he could go to Vegas.
He might.
Yeah, I mean, think of the places he could go. Like if right now you could walk back there and pick any plane to go anywhere, where would you go?
I don't know. It depends on the plane.
The plane would matter.
Yeah, some of them can go further. You know what? I'd have to think about all my options.
Yeah.
Got to think what the best option is there.
We were talking about that with our daughter last night. Like if you could go anywhere, where would it be with our youngest? That's interesting. Where would you go?
Well, it won't be Vegas anymore because the Lions won't be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I would have gone. I would have gone there because I have rooms and could probably get tickets.
Okay. Yeah, I bet you're really sad this morning.
I'm not really.
You weren't crying or anything?
No. Because at the end of the day,
yeah, you did.
It's all scripted.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I'm telling you, there's no way in hell. No way in hell. Now, I know he's a dumbass meathead. Lions coach. He's this big meathead guy. I love you effing guys. And
yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game. Did you watch the game?
I watched the one with I watched
the Chiefs.
I watched the Chiefs, of course.
Congrats,
and I watched part of the Lions. I did.
I can't tell you. I mean, Chiefs fans are happy as hell, but I can't tell you. The videos have already been edited with all of the missed calls.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
To get Taylor to the Super Bowl.
Well, did you see? I saw things on TikTok and that sort of thing that they already had cupcakes put out before it was over of how it ended up.
Well, maybe. But there was also and I had a feeling because it went so public that this purple and red graphic meant that it was the Super Bowl logo at the start of the year, purple and red meant that it was going to be the Ravens and the 49ers.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not true now, and I still think because it went so public that they had to change it.
Yeah,
because in years past, the colors on the logo were the colors of the teams.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but anyway, in the Lions game, they had a coach who, instead of kicking short field goals, he's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna go like a big Neanderthal, like he is." I love you, having guys. Decides to go for it, and I'm like, "There's no way, no coach in their right mind does that unless they're trying to get a certain outcome." I'm telling you. So anyway,
isn't it sad? I mean, there's nothing.
Nobody goes for fourth down when you can kick field goals twice in the same game. But anyway, that's what happened to him.
Yep.
But no, I'm not upset. Not at all. I got my own things to take care of.
Right.
That's why you shouldn't bet unless it's like you're treating it like a night out.
Correct.
Like, hey, I had fun. I had fun spending money last night.
I had fun flushing it down the toilet. It was a great time.
Hey guys, as always, like, subscribe, share the show, go on all the platforms, like, it helps us out. Let people know, go to your groups, let people know. We're grateful for that. And once again, because people have asked us, and I know it's people who are jumping in. Sometimes when you watch it, you'll see like people on X,
Mm-hmm.
on our website, Facebook, and cancel this, but it doesn't include our Rumble numbers. It doesn't include Cloud Hub either.
Correct.
That's just for the live viewing. But viewership has been going up even more, and we're grateful for you guys doing that.
Well, you know what we're going to have to do, Vic, pretty soon, because since it's the election cycle and stuff, we're going to have to go back to code words on FB.
I was wondering
because they're messing with it already. I already had 3 listeners that can't watch our show on FB anymore, so they're over on YT.
Really?
Yeah. 3 have told me they cannot pull it up, and they've showed me where it says. Why? I don't know.
But other people haven't had issues on FB.
No, we haven't really been having any trouble with FB at all. Like at all.
No.
But a couple of our listeners are, and it may not be anything we've said. It could be things that they've said either. It's things that they've said, but I'm not sure. So, but we're going to have to really, if we start speaking in code, and it'll pick up during the election cycle. Because they'll do anything for election interference. Did you see I split that up a little bit? Sounded like I stuttered, so it wasn't one word.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Good morning, all of you coming in on a Monday morning.
Yeah. Then that Lions coach.
Mm-hmm.
And his true meathead Neanderthal self. I don't regret me going for that. Dumbass.
Ugh.
Bobby, let's get ready to rumble. Yes, exactly. I like their coach. I hate people who act like they're big and tough and strong and meathead. Yeah, we push. Yeah, that stuff works.
Maybe it's not acting. Maybe they really are that dumb.
Well, yeah, there's just no. It's just when people do stupid things, which unless he was forced to do it, which gets back to the whole situation
The whole thing being rigged.
Being rigged. Yes.
And we know people can be bought, whether it's football, politics, jobs, whatever.
Whole lot of people thinking the Chiefs, of course. And I told a Chiefs friend of mine, he's like, we're done. And this was like 6 weeks ago. I said, I have it in text. I said, as long as Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce,
Correct.
Mark my words, the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl.
I agree. And I know a lot of
Mark
people,
my words, and they are.
They are. You're right.
Scoring the fewest amount of points in a game they ever have in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is like non-existent now, and their defense is helping them. It's crazy. Yes, people can be bought. It's happened in the NFL. It's happened because it's entertainment.
Yes.
I think, did I send you that clip? Did I send you I sent you pictures today, right, Joe?
Yeah,
Did
I
you see
got
the picture? Do you have one with a graphic that I sent you about the NFL?
I don't think there was a graphic. It was just a couple of pictures. But
I'm looking for it just in case. Here, I'll send it to you
okay.
before we get ready to start the show. Okay, Joe, I sent it to you, buddy. Anyway, hope everybody had a good weekend. We're here ready to rock and roll on a Monday. Not a ton going on locally throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Touch a little bit upon that in just a little bit. Yeah, Mike says missed field goal blamed on wind, but if you look at flag on goalpost, there appears to be no wind. I know. I saw it too. Just don't bet. Once again, Dana White, UFC said, don't bet on football. He's like, because it's fixed. If there's no, I mean, Dana White is telling people that's why I don't do it, because it is fixed. The bylaws state it is entertainment, so they can fix outcomes. They can do that. Did you get that, Joe? Once you get in, Joe, you can go ahead and start the show, buddy.
All right.
Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks alongside Pro Joe in the house. As always, making us look and sound as good as we can. Good morning. Welcome into Monday, January 29th, the start of the work week. We are ready to rock and roll as we always do. We're Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and of course, all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Ready to rock and roll and do what we do. Entertain you, you entertain us. We inform you, you inform us. If there's stories, information, interviews that we need, you let us know. Please check out cancelthisshow.com. Once again, cancelthisshow.com, our website. We have all of our original content there. We have our website there. We have information and other sites and platforms that you can go to as well. And of course, it's not that we're trying to be different. We're just trying to focus on facts, get into the stories that other radio stations won't get into, that they won't give you the facts. Everybody's opinion is always welcome here. And of course, call out the BS that we all see and inform and entertain for your families to be the best that they can be. Once again, thanks for jumping in. Coming up, United States having to deal with Iran now. So I'm tired of all these bullshit pro-Palestinian rallies because they're connected. There's a connection between Palestine and Iran. Okay, there just is. And stop it. I don't want to hear all this other BS. You've been brainwashed, and I feel bad for you. That doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you have been brainwashed. That doesn't mean I'm saying Israel is great and perfect, okay? But I'm saying you've been brainwashed. We'll get into that. Biden now put on the hot seat to try to make a decision. We know he can't. Another scolding from Biden. He's like, he was like lashing out like he's a witch demon or something over the weekend. Dear God, we'll get into that. Trump's Lamborghini sold for a huge price over the weekend. People went nuts. We'll show you that video. Love it. As if we didn't know, NSA. Why is the NSA purchasing all of our website information? They want to know what we're doing, what we're buying. They're purchasing what we're buying, that information, what we're buying online. They're checking it all out. They're looking at all of that stuff. Trump on Texas. We got the border stuff going on. We've got DC. They're trying to put together some sort of deal to work out the border. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on from a national standpoint. We're going to get into it. We appreciate you guys jumping in as you always do. First, Lizzie, how was your weekend? All right. Good things. Rocking and rolling.
It was all good. All good. Crazy busy with kids stuff.
Yep. Pro Joe, what about you? All good in your home?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, same here as well.
Relaxing, great weekend.
There you go. Likewise with me, a lot of football watching yesterday, which was good as well. Okay, the one thing I wanted to start into, because we were just talking about with football stuff, just go ahead and show it. Can you show the Travis and Taylor video? I mean, this is what was supposed to happen, because this I can already see it.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl coming up. And it's fine if the Chiefs win. If the Chiefs win, a lot of people are going to be really happy. I'm kind of in and out and don't care. The Chiefs win. Travis and Taylor do their hug and their kiss. This is all scripted. You know this, right? They love each other. Travis turns and does something with Pfizer. Then they express their love of Joe Biden. I can already see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
This made for America, this made for world event with these two people. I'm just telling you, I see it coming.
What do you see coming? I mean, clarify yourself. What do you see coming?
The finality to all of this.
So you really think this is
them running to each other after the game?
I thought it was cute.
Hug and kiss. It is. I don't mind Taylor Swift. This was interesting. In watching football games at two different places yesterday,
mm-hmm.
It was very interesting what people thought. But there are guys that just get burned by seeing Taylor.
Most people I know don't like it. They don't like it.
It looks genuine to me, but here's the video. I mean, even Andy Reid was pointing her out.
Mhm.
after in their celebration on the stage yesterday for winning the AFC. He was pointing at Taylor, and she's like, "Hi." I mean, this stuff is just. Here's some of the video. We can talk over it, Joe. Travis and there's their hug
And did you
and their
see where
kiss.
she mouthed, "I love you"?
Yeah, I saw it. Of
She
course.
mouthed it and all that. Now, if this is true, I think it's cute. I agree with most people who are annoyed by them that we fought so hard against, the jab, and he's coming out for Pfizer, and none of us like Joe Biden, and she backed him at this point. So I understand their visceral reaction to it. I really do understand it. If you can take that out and just try to be somebody that is from the 1980s that just wants to watch a freaking game, it's kind of cute. So it depends on where you're coming at that. I'm just coming at it like I don't really care either, other than it's the Chiefs and I like the Chiefs. But I mean, I was at one point mad at football too. I didn't want to watch it after the whole Black Lives Matter. So I get people's visceral reactions to all of this. I really do.
Glenn says, I'd rather see Taylor than Jerry Jones. 100%, my friend. And especially because you're happy because the Chiefs won. So that's good. Good for you from that standpoint. Kimberly says, I think everyone's just sick of seeing her all the time. It's football. They don't tune the other women of football because the other women of football don't move the needle.
Right. It doesn't matter. And we know that everything is about publicity, dollar, money, all of that. And she brings money to the game. And think about all the women. We've talked about this with Kelly Mano. There's women who haven't watched football, has nothing to do with Black Lives Matters. They just don't care. But they do watch it for the Taylor Swift sighting. I know I've got one of my daughters
of course they do.
Now watching it because they want to watch her. Now she's 15. It's not like she's 35 and knowing the difference, but I mean, I could see where this is orchestrated.
Well, here's what the NFL is. Joe, if you can go ahead and put that paragraph up about the NFL, because people need to remember, and this is why I always remind people, as Dana White said, I don't bet on the NFL, and nobody should, because they can fix games. Their legal status in this whole situation is this: it's legal to fix the outcomes of sports in the U.S. as long as it is for entertainment purposes and not for gambling. The NFL has that in their bylaws.
Yes.
It's for entertainment purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it's the most bet on event that you have.
Correct.
Anywhere
in
the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why. And then once again, when I already saw the plays, Dan Campbell's calls in the Lions game, people going putting it together, and then 4 missed calls in the Chiefs game that upset people putting together, going, really? These were touchdown making plays. Of course, we want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because of Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and of course, they're the new villains. And Chiefs fans don't want to hear it. They're just like, oh, you guys are sore losers.
Well, a lot of people that are Chiefs fans are saying that they're just sore losers. And it's because in the past, if you're a flyover state, the media doesn't like you. So that's part of it too. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah. Like, have you noticed
I mean,
that
I
if you're
heard
not
that
from
at
the
one
East
point
or
in
the
time.
West Coast, they still don't like flyover state people. We're just dumb hillbillies here in Missouri. That's just what we are. So some people think that that's why the media makes fake calls.
I also heard this too. What about Taylor Swift and her evil sorcery?
Her evil sorcery.
You guys have heard these stories and some demonic music. And while Swiftie fans say that her last concert, Eros, does not have anything demonic in it, there have been concerts that she has done with video that would make people go, oh.
What it was that? Yeah.
There have been, I watched it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had people send me videos and I'm like, interesting. Does this do anything for anybody? Here we go. We're diving deep down on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
This was sent to me. Okay. This is Super Bowl 58.
Okay.
5 + 8 equals 13. And allegedly 13's this like
evil number. Right. That's stretching.
So you have to believe in 13. Then the Super Bowl will be played on February 11th. 2 + 11 equals 13. But that's not it. This is also going to be Taylor's 13th game of the season.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like you're really stretching it, but
oh my God.
But what do you, yeah. I used to think Friday the 13th.
Does that do anything for anybody? I know. I'm just.
Yeah. And numbers, I mean, it is biblical that in numbers mean things. There's a whole book in the Bible about numbers. So I don't dismiss when people send me that. I just want to see the outcome of it. Is that really the case? I don't know. I think Taylor will sell her soul and make more money. I guess everybody can be bought for a price, but she already has a lot of money. Maybe she really loves this dude.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll have
know
to see.
either.
We'll see
I
what
don't
happens. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know who to pick, but we'll see. Chiefs, 49ers. After I saw the Lions just destroy the 49ers until their coach started doing really stupid stuff, I was like, this 49ers team is so overrated. The Chiefs should be able to dominate them, but who knows? We'll see. Because the Lions were on their way to going up 17 points with about 5-6 minutes left in the third quarter. And we're going to go for it because that's what I do. Because I'm Mr. Neanderthal. Dan Campbell, effing guys, I love you.
Well, see, maybe he's not that smart.
I think
he's
his CTE kicked in.
Well, that could be it. That could be it.
Jay says, Vic, was it fixed in college? Did they coach you how to keep it quiet? No, because here's the thing. First of all, I'm old. That didn't happen back then. Second of all, many times players don't know, NFL and college. Where it happens is in primetime games with coaches and certain referees. And we already know referees do bet on games. We know they fix games because it's happened in every single sport and they've been busted. And Vegas, don't think for 1 second. If you know anything about Vegas, and all the money that is coming in and coming out, people have massive full-time jobs making millions of dollars, putting lines on game, making sure that games go that well. We've had other quarterbacks come out and say, yeah, this is what's happened. Sammy the Bull, I think it was Sammy the Bull even came out and talked about how they would find quarterbacks alone and say, hey, you're doing this and you're doing that in this certain game. We know your cousin lives down the street. We know where your wife is going to be, things of that nature. Don't think for a second that's not real. That crap happens. It happens. Don't think it doesn't. It does. So anyway,
it absolutely does. I mean, we showed before the actual poll numbers that come out of the people who bet in Vegas. And if you look at the past, it's more right than it isn't. So that makes a whole lot of sense.
But whatever, we're watching. I'll still be watching. I love football, the athletes that are playing. I do think most athletes don't know. I do.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that. Some people are happy. Some people are not. Chief fans, I hope you're excited. You get to go to the Super Bowl and you're forever linked with Taylor Swift Super Bowl. So there you go.
It would only be better for the Swifties who also like Casey as if she was the halftime show. I think she's on a tour. So.
And it's Usher, right?
I think it is Usher.
Well, I think you get the Black National Anthem.
Yes.
All right. You excited about that?
No, that irks the shit out of me because it's like we don't have a white or an Asian national anthem. That is where all this Taylor Swift stuff and all, I really don't care one. If you like her, you like her. You don't. Everybody has a right to an opinion. Even great conservatives do like her music. I'm not a big fan, but my daughters are. So whatever. But what I do care about is we are Americans. We have one national anthem. The Black national anthem is a crock of shit. And it actually...
It's coming.
It is. Oh, it is. It's supposed to be there. And you know what? If you listen to the song, it's actually a lovely song that, from what I understand, it was played in churches, in Black churches.
Hey, Ben Kahn from Wendy's told me yesterday that his wife had to learn that in New York, growing up in Queens.
I can believe that. I can believe that. And I know in a lot of Black churches, it is sung. I know a couple of my kids went to school where some of the children had to learn that song as well. And I'm like, what in the world is that?
I feel deprived. My upbringing did not allow me those privileges.
I never heard of the song
the Black National
until
Anthem.
The whole kneeling at football games. I never even heard of it. But when I heard it, I was like, you know what? That's a lovely song. It's a very lovely song, actually. And if they want to play it, great, play it. I can see where it's kind of uplifting. It's a pretty song. But as a Black national anthem, stop it with that stuff. Just stop it.
Megan says, Black National Anthem, but kids can't wear black out for fun to games.
Right?
Give me a break.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a kid. We haven't gotten around to that story, Megan. I appreciate it. California kid, high school football game. He's an 8th grader, trying to have fun. Even one of the security guards, a Black man, trying to show him how to do his face right, to get the face paint right for the football game. Kid got suspended for a week.
I can't even believe
They said he was racist. They told the dad. I mean, that kind of stuff happens once again. Heather says, guys, get real. It's an arranged relationship to see how many people they can get on board. Don't think that there isn't an agenda with the NFL, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And we'll see after. I think once this is over, we'll see how long the relationship lasts. If it keeps lasting, okay, then maybe it was a real thing. I think the reason why people think that this could be a setup too is Taylor Swift runs through so many boyfriends and then makes songs about them. So people are just waiting for this breakup for the song to come out.
Yeah.
I think there's as many people I
Oh,
know
wonderful.
that are giddy about that.
We're going to get into this too. Jay says 2 New York kindergarten teachers changed the wheels on the bus to reflect pro-Palestinian
Oh,
work.
stop
Of course,
that.
no, of course they were.
Yes.
Anybody will do anything. We should not be surprised
I know.
by anything, especially when it comes to the pro-Palestinian movement, because
Correct.
I'm sorry, if you're pro-Palestinian, not one pro-Palestinian person I've seen making a case for Israel or making a case for Americans who were killed or making a case for Americans who were held hostage or making a case that the United States needs to protect itself when it comes to our military members being killed. Once again, killed and maimed and severely injured by drone attacks. And they've been going on for quite some time. But once again, this is the time where countries can give cheap shots, sucker punches to the United States because of who's in a command. Barack Obama. Or did I? Oh, I mean Joe Biden. Anyway.
That was a Freudian slip, but we know what you meant.
Yeah, of course that is. I mean, it's all a bunch of crap that's going on. Yes, Jay, we're getting into that. No doubt about what's happening from that standpoint. Some better news too. Did you see Trump's Lamborghini?
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
No, we'll show.
I didn't even know he had one because I didn't think he ever drove. I thought he was always chauffeured around.
Oh no, his Roadster. Yeah, but a lot of times people don't drive them. They're showpieces.
That's true.
And they like to show off cars.
Yeah.
I started to learn a lot about the automobile industry when I was in Detroit for 11 years. And a lot of they're collector's items.
Yep.
Sometimes people don't even drive them. Sometimes they go out and just show them off at shows.
Yeah, I can see that. That's fun. Car shows are fun.
This was selling on, I think it was a Saturday night. It was at the Barrett. Was it the former player? What is that? The Barrett Jack, or I want to say Barrett Jackman.
Barrett Jackman. I don't know
it's,
what it was at,
in
but Scottsdale.
I saw it. It's sold. This Joe, do we have it, buddy?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I have to change the file format.
Okay. So basically, this sold for $1 million, and people started to go nuts.
I'm sure.
Of course. I'm telling you, he's got so much support all over the place.
Does.
You can see some. Yeah, you can just go ahead and play this one. This edit has music over it.
I think Kevin said it went for $2 million.
Oh, it went for 2?
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw too.
Yeah, I saw him in the lobby. He's the one that sent.
Yeah, Kevin knows.
Right.
Kevin sent me the video at first. Kevin Malutnik, owner of Strategic Air Services. Everybody clapping, cheering, going crazy.
He said it's probably about a $200,000 car that went for $2 million.
Because it was Trump's. Yeah. Yes. Well, I like the color blue on that.
Maybe people thought they were helping him pay off his ridiculous $83.3 million lawsuit thing, which is stupid and ridiculous. But that Roadster Lamborghini is freaking badass. I think it's a 1997.
Yeah, that's really neat looking.
And obviously, it was the highlight of the show that they had.
I'm sure. Well, and I can see, I mean, people are saying that don't like Trump. They're saying that he had to sell this car because of all the lawsuit stuff going on, because he's going to have to collect all this money.
Well, maybe actually that happened too on Friday. E. Jean Carroll. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on there. No, here it is. Abe says, I watched it. The sale price was $1 million, like I said.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry, I must have misunderstood what he said.
$1 million, which is still amazing for
really
a $200,000 vehicle.
You know, Joe, to people like you and I, 1 million, 2 million, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
It's
just numbers.
It's just numbers, because we just have so much money that a million apart. Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
The whole deal with Trump's whole situation, and a far left jury, you know that she didn't present any evidence?
Right? No, she didn't.
She didn't know what year it happened.
None.
Allegedly, where it happened, no witnesses, no evidence. She produced a dress, but the dress wasn't even made in the year
that she said it was.
That this alleged event would have occurred.
Correct.
But this goes to show what a left-leaning jury will. You don't have to have evidence to go after somebody if you're Donald Trump.
Correct. And you don't
in a left-leaning area.
Yes. If you are somebody that is a conservative or right-leaning and you get in trouble or get accused of something, that's just going to show you what they're going to do to us now. You got to be very careful. You better hope you live in a red area and do whatever it is that they're accusing you of, because if you're a conservative, they're going to come after us too. I'm
curious to see what's going to happen here. He is appealing, and now we're starting to find out that the judge in the case has ties to the prosecutor in the case.
Right.
And it goes back to like 25 years ago. They worked together.
Yeah.
Once again, all of these things connect. The dots connect. And I'm sorry, I've got good friends who are Democrats, but this is evil activity. And if any of you are Democrats and you're my friends and you back this, shame on you, because you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong for backing the evil that's going on just so they can get this man out, because they know nothing else will work, because his popularity continues to rise.
Yes.
By the way, just a few years ago, Snoop Dogg even produced a video making fun of Donald Trump.
Yep, he sure did.
He produced a video ripping the Don.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Shizzle, shizzle, even Snoop Dogg coming around on the Trump sizzle.
Yep.
I mean, it's there. Even him.
I wonder if Eminem will. That'll be a big one.
That will be a big one, because he's really crucified him.
Do you remember that anti-Trump video he did?
Yeah, he won't come around.
Yeah.
You know why he won't come around? It's the white liberal. It's the white liberal that's the most insufferable.
Eminem's got that Antifa-like thing about him.
He does. He is totally
as super talented as he is. You don't see that? I see it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that angry white liberal that just walks around with his hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And he used to beat women too back then.
Stop it.
He did. Don't you? I mean, back in the early 90s and so, he did beat women. He beat women, and he was a big gay hater and wanted to behead them and all that.
He did.
And then he had a daughter. So he really is he's a jackass. He's mean.
The dots are connecting for all these people going after Trump.
Yeah.
But the fact that Snoop Dogg is now coming out and saying, I'm down with Trump.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I've always said. Once again, hey, it's all right to go one way, but when you realize you're wrong and there's no evidence to prove that Donald Trump would not be the best president for this country at this time in 2024, then you need to swallow your pride and move forward. That's a big deal for Snoop to do that.
Yeah, it really is.
A huge deal. And maybe it's because the other rappers have come out and said things. I mean, 50 Cent hasn't cared. I mean, but he took bullet holes all over his body. That guy's like, I don't care. I'm freaking going to say what I say. You guys can't do anything to me. I've had metal all over my body. I've had lead in my body. He came out ripping Biden. He came out ripping Gavin Newsom because of Gavin Newsom paying for illegals medical insurance in California.
That's crazy. Well, and the rappers up until 2015 often rapped about the money that Donald Trump had and wanting to be like Donald Trump. They only switched in 2000. They only switched when he became a Republican.
I agree with Heather. Snoop should do a song for Donald Trump.
I agree.
I can already see it coming down the track.
Yeah, that would be good. We need a good song again about Trump.
Hey. Trump shizzle. The Trump sizzle song.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But you won't see, I promise you won't see his good friend Martha jumping on that train, the Trump train.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Martha Stewart won't be.
Yeah, I don't think so. See, she's another white, insufferable
Thanks,
liberal.
Peter.
I thought it was sad that she went to jail for something someone else wouldn't have done. But yeah, she's a white liberal that is not going to say, I've switched my mind.
Okay, we got another. We started talking about Trump. We'll get into the Trump stuff. You know what? Trump, after he did come out and talk about it, and we'll see where it goes. I'm just telling you, that whole situation, that whole 83.3 million, don't believe it yet. I want to see where this comes when they dive into this on appeal.
Yes. When
evidence is brought forward from what this judge has done, and now there are allegations that he also took a payment bribe to make sure that Trump's legal team couldn't use evidence in the case. Once again, judges, and I respect the hell about what they do, but they have the power to do a whole lot of things. Yes, Annette, I saw that Ben Shapiro had a rap song now, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, and actually people were watching it, listening to it. Maybe we'll show some of it today. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. We'll see. Chris said Snoop lost his street cred when he started making those chip commercials
with Martha.
Maybe.
That's probably true. Yeah.
He might have, but Donald Trump over the weekend coming strong right after all the BS with the E. Jean Carroll case. Do you remember that? Do you remember she did a CNN interview, by the way, with Tucker, or not with Tucker, but with Anderson Cooper. And it was so bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was so bad. I think Twitter, or not Twitter, but so they were taking it offline so people couldn't see it.
Oh, wow.
She literally said that she fantasized about Donald Trump, fantasized about rape being sexy.
Oh, wow.
She said all this. We covered it on the radio show.
Yeah. That was several years ago.
Back on the edge. And then we're like, oh my God, look at this one. And then they still took the case forward. But if you have a liberal judge with a liberal prosecutor, a liberal agenda, Reid Hoffman, once again, doing everything he can to keep Donald Trump out of office, was backing her financially throughout this whole thing. She wasn't even coming forward with the case, by the way. This is what's important. She wasn't. It was dead until Reid Hoffman showed up and said, hey, I'm going to give you some money to push forward on this. Reid Hoffman, owner of LinkedIn, who was giving, guess who? Nikki Haley, all of her money to go after Donald Trump. Once again, they continue to go after Donald Trump. And it was all because they knew it. They set it up before it started. And there's so many times in life where people will try to lie about others and go at them in court and say, this is what's happening. That's what's happened, and have no evidence. And say, well, I did it. You should believe me. Or it happened. Believe me. And it's interesting because Clinton's accuser, we didn't believe her, did we?
No, not at all.
No. We didn't believe her.
No, of course. She couldn't have done it. They lie. And it's so different. When they go after Clinton, it's like women are bad and they lie. But then when they do it on the opposite end of Trump, it's like, oh, they're telling the 100% truth. And
doing my research on that story too. Chris, great point too. They absolutely changed the law for them to push this case forward. And guess what?
Yep.
The only grounds that this case could have been pushed forward there in New York was a 1-year deal. They changed the law. Literally, they changed the law just for 1 year. And then as soon as they got it filed under Donald Trump, they changed the law back to what it was. But once again, your local media stations who don't do a good job, and your national media stations who don't do a good job on breaking down this stuff. Hell, Fox News doesn't do a good job sometimes when it comes to this stuff. Oh, once again, didn't believe Tara Reid either with Biden. Another great point. Think about these things. But all of a sudden, and they had evidence. All of a sudden, a woman who has zero evidence. Yeah, I think I remember it happening. They weren't even allowed. Donald Trump's team was not even allowed to show the interview that she did with Anderson Cooper on CNN, saying that rape was sexy and that she had fantasized about her and Trump being together. And I'm going, wow.
And if I've ever seen her, she looks.
But we're all too busy to care. Americans, okay, whatever. Yeah, well, let's go on.
They don't care. But
these
if you
are
take
facts.
Time,
the show's about facts. Facts. We're going to talk about facts. If local radio stations don't do it, if local television stations don't do it, fine, we're going to do it. And of course, we appreciate all the support you give us here at canceltheshow.com. These are the things that are going on, but Trump doesn't care. He's pushing forward. All of this BS that's happening with the border. Joe Biden has all the power in the world to stop illegals from coming in. He doesn't need Congress to act. He has all the power in the world. Well, here's Donald Trump talking about what he would do at the border now, and or if he was president, which should get everybody. Gary says Eugene Carroll looks like a sewer rat.
Yeah, that's a good description, actually.
Once again, here's the leader himself, Donald Trump.
When I'm president, instead of trying to send Texas a restraining order, I will send them reinforcements. Instead of fighting border states, I will use every resource, tool, and authority of the U.S. president to defend the United States of America from this horrible invasion that is taking place right now. There's never been anything like it. Texas will be given full support, and I will deploy all necessary military and law enforcement resources to seal up the final section of border. You know, we built over 500 miles of wall, fortunately, but they are just, what they're doing is just not even believable.
Yeah, he is powerful. One thing I did want to hear as people continue to go after Donald Trump, Eugene Carroll, I did send you a clip of her, Joe. So if you have a chance to pull that up, just so people can see the, Greg calls her the wet rat.
Well, and I'm not even saying that to be mean, but I agree with them. She looks just Like,
It's from the
what
CNN.
rat?
It's titled CNN interview, Joe. From
Yeah,
that
here it
standpoint.
is. We got it up.
Chris says E. Jean Carroll reminds him of Jason Voorhees' mother in the first Friday the 13th, and she's just as bat crazy.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
I can see that too. Yeah, she does look crazy. And yeah, I didn't know who she looked. She kind of looked like a crazy Julia Andrews, is what I thought.
Before I show this too, and you know what we do here in the show, and we cover a lot of things here, and we're able to grasp a lot of topics, break it down for you, and jump from topic to topic. I can't forget this because I've been very disappointed with Steve Doocy, extremely disappointed with him showing his true colors, especially over the last 3 months. And I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Steve Doocy, according to Jay, showed his true colors this morning by supporting this border bill that's going on that lets 5,000 illegals a day into our United States by claiming no one has read it yet. So it's just internet speculation and is better than the current system. Once again, Steve, you are doing a disservice to Americans, and shame on you. You should not even have a job, but you're the clown. I'm Steve Doocy.
I know.
Oh my God, what a
not
goofball.
a fan. His son seems to be,
We
getting
blow him out of the water. Cancel this. It's sad.
Yes, absolutely. Neither one, because even Peter Doocy, and I know a lot of our listeners like Peter Doocy, but he still doesn't even go as hard as other people that are not allowed in there. Like our friend Chanel Rion, she's not even allowed in that room, and she asks the big questions. Peter still only goes so far with his questions.
Well, whatever with Peter, but here's E. Jean Carroll again. Check. This was part of the interview from Anderson Cooper that E. Jean Carroll did. And of course, national media won't show you. They want to forget that this interview ever happened. It was so bad that Anderson Cooper even looked at the camera at the end of it and they just cut away. It was so bad after she said she fantasized about rape and said rape was sexy.
I feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
What?
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
She's a nut job. You know what?
You feel like a victim.
She's a nut job. And Les is saying
we needed to play this again.
You do need to play it again.
So people can remember, especially a bunch of liberal, uneducated Democrats, even Republicans for that matter, that this was all a setup. And trust me, if you've ever been lied about or set up, you know what it feels like at any point in your life of anything. It's sad to see that happen. And she said rape was sexy. She just admitted, but that interview was not allowed in a trial where they said Donald Trump needs to pay $83.3 million. It's one of the sickest things I have seen, especially with a former president.
Yes.
This is once again why Donald Trump is by far the best candidate for president, because if there are people that want to keep him out that bad, he is that good.
Absolutely. And she's a sicko. If you research
send
her,
that video out. Sorry, Lizzie. If you have it, send these shows out. Let people know. Remind them, because people forget. That's why I always talk about scorecards. Remember the scorecards.
Yes. Well, and if you really research her and stuff, and Les is saying on the chat line that she named her cat Vagina. And I didn't know that about the cat's name, but I have seen other things that she's named. She really is one of those people that you would see marching down the street with a vagina head or a pink pussycat thing and yelling and screaming. She's mentally disturbed is what she is. And that's what the left does. They find these women and men that have psychological issues that honestly, years ago in the 40s and the 50s, they would have them in a mental institution. That's how crazy she is.
Without a doubt.
That's how crazy she is.
Stephen Peter Doocy, not Doocy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Joe, did you ever know about that interview with CNN? Because it happened when you were coming from being a liberal to a Republican.
At that point, I wasn't paying attention to that kind of stuff. I was paying more attention to the jab and what was going on.
And this was all going on around the same time.
Right.
And that's the thing. If you watch CNN, and I can't imagine many of our listeners do, but if you ever turn it on, and even worse, MSNBC, the things that they are saying are not even Right.
No, I wish we had more liberals that would come in and give their
Me
opinions
too.
and try to back stuff like this that's going on.
Right. Because they
back
can't.
Back it. There's no way to back that kind of corruption, that kind of salacious detail, that kind of just we're going to destroy somebody because he's running for office. And this isn't just trying to destroy somebody. This is trying to destroy them in every single situation with flat out lies. Flat out lies. And that's what happens. But Trump continues to press forward. He continues to push forward in everything that's going on. We're going to get into the Biden stuff here, and we're going to get into what's happening with Iran and all of this BS and, ceasefire, pro-Palestinian movements, BS. You're wrong. You're jaded. I'm sorry. You might be a good person, but it's a bunch of crap when Americans are dying at the hands of Iran-backed militias, and they are backed by Iran. If Iran did not back them, they would root them out, but they don't, and we already know what's happening. Joe Biden. This guy. Listen to Joe Biden over the weekend. Now he's gone from Joe Biden, who doesn't have a pulse, to that angry person. I've talked about this before. God bless my grandmother's soul. As part of her issue that she had before she died, she would get mean and angry and start cussing at her caretakers. And nobody knew why. She didn't know why. And here's Joe Biden going nuts. He's like, this isn't even making a point. This is, look at that face. Joe Biden.
Donald Trump, when he was commander in chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that? Donald Trump.
Okay.
You know what I saw? I don't know if it was this speech, but over the weekend, I saw a lot of his angriness and going, and I couldn't tell honestly which Joe Biden it was because I swore.
That's a good point.
I literally swore that I saw like some makeup up over something that was peeling on his face. Now, maybe it was dry skin. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but we were both looking at my house. A couple of us were like, is that a mask? Like, is that a mask? Like, and I'm not saying it was, but it made me think, which Joe Biden is that?
Once again, people who don't like Donald Trump will do anything and everything they can to go after him because they can't handle the truth. And it gets into a pride issue. There's not a liberal Democrat alive that knows that Donald Trump would not be better for this country, for the good of all Americans, unless you want something else that America and most Americans, law-abiding citizens, want. Look at this picture of Joe Biden. He also, and I'm glad that they actually fact checked this. This is how stupid Joe Biden is. He was visiting a work industry and he put his hard hat on backwards.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't even know which way.
He did not know.
He didn't know.
Oh. He looks ridiculous.
Joe Biden, vote for me for 20 people. If you're going to put a hard hat on, make sure you have it on right. Look at the fools with him. It's almost like they're laughing at him.
It's like, woo!
I bet those are Trump supporters and they just played a joke on Joe Biden. That's how I see that.
It makes you wonder because you can't even think that.
But I want what's best for American blue collar people. And hey, by the way, the National Union, what union was? I'm trying to remember what union it was. They haven't given their support to Joe Biden yet.
Yeah.
And
they may end up.
It's the latest.
Union,
it's the latest. Oh, I'm trying to remember what union it is. I don't think it's the automobile union, but it's another national union. I saw that and I went, oh, they even see those union members. Those old school Democrats are like, bullshit. 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 That's a really cool meme if you haven't seen that with a little kid. Have you seen that meme? Bullshit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one. Bullshit. And we should just play that meme every single time Joe Biden comes up and just go bullshit, 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 because that's what it is. He doesn't say anything that is truthful, and they just keep letting him lie. But we've said this before. He literally, that's why they have him here, because they know he's a liar. Even when he was in his right mind and there wasn't a clone of him, he's always lied.
Anthony says, so wait a second. When I wear a hard hat like that, I shouldn't. I mean, I do wear them like that, laughing my ass off. Yeah. Gary says, and to think this man has the nuclear codes. No, he doesn't. Barack does. I mean, Barack Obama.
Barack does.
Yeah, and Michelle may have those very soon as well. Talking to another friend of mine over the weekend, says if Michelle runs, there's no way in hell, and he's conservative, no way in hell she doesn't win.
Oh, I think she wins. That scares the daylights out of me, because if Michael Michelle wins, you're going to have every lefty now go, okay, well, at least Obama did a better job than Donald Trump. They really think that. You will, and they will cheat to no get out. They won't let him lose.
Yeah.
That scares me. That
so nice that you
runs.
Become so acceptable with pronouns.
Right. Well, I'm learning these pronouns.
Her, him,
he, she, they, them, whatever, because they will. And I'm saying they, them, whoever this thing is, will run, and they will make sure.
Okay.
For sure.
It was the UAW, wins. According to Robert, up in Detroit. But Fain, who is in charge of the UAW, just endorsed Biden this morning, and also said many members will vote for Trump. This is awesome. Hey, I'm sorry. I love union workers and I love people, but until you guys battle back, you stand up to the freaking UAW, which is crooked. And Robert, you know it's crooked. Until those people stand up and do something about it and get organized in a correct way and say, screw all you mother truckers. We're not going to go with this. You're not going to take our wages anymore and put it towards liberal democratic causes for things that we don't agree with. Then this is what happens. Yes, it's not easy to change it. But then Robert also said he called Trump a scab. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. That's what happens with the UAW. I appreciate it. That's why we love you guys in the group here. Remember to like, subscribe, share the show across all of our platforms. We're grateful for all of that. CancelThisShow.com. Once again, CancelThisShow.com. Robert reminds us that management is also crooked. Of course it is. And it's going to. Donna says, just breaking, Illinois attempting to remove 45 from the ballot. Follow the leader. Of course, all these states that are led by liberals will try to do this. And it's not going to succeed. Anything and everything. We've told you here, we've been telling you at least since May, expect all of this crap to continue to happen. Anything and everything that can possibly be done to make it difficult to have Donald Trump as president is going to be done. And once again, there are still liberals, and I'm sorry, some of them, which are my friends, they're not smart enough to see what is going on here.
Right. They don't care.
Or if they are smart enough to see what's going on, they don't want to mention it.
Correct. They don't care, and they'll just not vote is what'll happen. Is many of them like, I can't pull the trigger for Biden, but I can't pull the trigger for Trump. So they just won't vote.
Well,
That's
it's like a lot of DeSantis followers. This is another reason why I was concerned with DeSantis. So many people on a national scale publicly saying they're not going to vote because they didn't get Ronnie in.
Correct. And I think,
wow.
Yeah. And Ron, we've always said that he's not a bad candidate, but you still vote for Trump, then you can vote for DeSantis. I mean, there's no problem there. But people, you say it all the time. It's the pride factor. If my person doesn't get in, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Well, the thing that's great is Trump's had another campaign ad. I don't know who did it, but this one is terrific. Saw it last week. We got really busy on Friday. Many of you may have seen this already, but it gave me chills watching this one. And it's a different type of ad that's running on social media. Check it out. Do you notice that the ads for Democrats just don't look like the ads for Republicans?
No.
And not that all Republicans are great or right or better. I'm just telling you, it's about country. It's about patriotism. It's about red, white, and blue. It's about God. It is about a family base. It is about USA. It is about having a love of country.
Yes.
You don't see that with Democratic ads. You don't even see that at their press conferences. You don't hear chants of USA. You don't hear a pushing of loving your country, which is what it's all about. Because as we know, Marxist movements are about losing a love in country, dividing the country up so they will not stand, they will not care, they will not love enough to fight for it when we come to take it.
And make it so obvious when you see different press conferences or different rallies or anything like that between the left and the right. The right is so, and I'm not saying all Republicans, just like you said, but we love our country. And
we're not going to be an effing echo chamber because not all Republicans are perfect. And we see it in local government, we see it in state government, and we certainly see it in national. And that may turn some Republicans off, but we're going to be fair. We're going to be honest. We're not just going to be this tank of, well, we're just going to, you come here, of course, we're just going to spew out anything that you want to hear.
No, because there's a lot underneath the scenes that even some conservatives and Republicans just spew out the echo chamber in which they see on their media. And there's so much more. There's so much underneath that we need to get to the bottom of and tell the truth.
That ad's awesome.
I
love that ad.
So good. It gave me goosebumps to see that ad.
I think it jinxed Trump too.
Why do you think so?
Remember last week when I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I said Saturday Night even loves Donald Trump now.
Yeah, no, they don't. I didn't want to correct you when you said that, but they don't. They hate Donald Trump. They hate him.
Did you guys see what they did Saturday night? It's now it's on. Now it's like, okay, we have to go after Donald. He's going to win this. Roland said, got to go to a rally on Texas last year. He said it was awesome.
Yes.
It was packed because that's what Donald Trump does. He packs arenas. He packs venues because people love and they care about him. They don't about Biden. They just don't. Look at the skit from Saturday night. If you didn't see the Saturday Night Live Saturday night, not that this is a good show or that anybody's talented there, but Donald Trump, they started with this piece with him talking about debanking. I'm just setting it up. And then made fun of him. And then the joke was on them because we already know most of these younger people who are going into TV or news, they're idiots and they're fools and they're not funny on top of it.
Trying to debank you. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank.
I don't know what the hell debank means, but he might have to take de-ambulance to see the doctor. Haley also called Trump totally unhinged and called for him to take a mental competency test. And here's some footage of Trump trying to buzz in with his answers.
Ding, 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 ding. Ping, boom.
Trump did have a slight stumble this week while talking about banks, and he introduced an interesting new term called debank.
We're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from...
Yeah, from debanking.
From debanking. That cracks me up because these people are so dumb. Now
Guess what? It's an official term and it's used, and debanking is an official term used in the financial industry. But these dumbasses at Saturday Night Live who think they're so cool, dude, if you're an anchor, I don't care if it's a comedy or whatever, you're the last line of defense. What a freaking fool. What's his name? Is Colin Jost?
It's Colin somebody.
Colin Jost?
Yeah.
What? Hey, Colin, you're a dumbass.
Colin,
You got on air and read that trying to be funny, and you didn't even have your facts right. Clearly, he didn't get an education.
He didn't get the memo.
What a dumbass.
I know. He's such a dumbass.
I'd like to see Saturday Night Live apologize for that.
They're not going to apologize. There's no way they're going to apologize.
Normally, comedians shouldn't apologize, but if you're wrong about your information, then screw you.
But that's the problem with the comedians this day. They have ruined it.
Yeah.
they have ruined. I mean, they've absolutely ruined it. I mean, I remember
he does that to the right person. The right person will put a fist right in his face and knock his smart ass out.
Those jokes are all written for him anyway. He's just reading from a prompter.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's reading.
I think you missed my intro into that. As an anchor, you're the last line of defense.
Well, Ron Burgundy.
You're the last.
He's around Burgundy.
But so many are so afraid to talk about it because back Saturday Night Live, it used to be funny. Now,
nobody watches anymore.
It used to be funny. They would take every political person and make fun of every one of them. Think about Joe Biden. They could make some great skits out of him, but they don't. They don't. Just look at the comedians. What's his name? Jay Leno came out and said he's not going to do politics anymore.
Yeah, it's
any jokes.
It is what it is. It's just the reason I found this interesting is the fact that the machine, it's part of the machine against Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so uneducated. And that's where you have to be careful what's happening with, quote, media, shows, entertainment. You have this guy who a lot of people watch. I mean, there's a lot when you consider 0 to whatever watches them. And they write this. And I guarantee they're not all that stupid at SNL. Maybe they are.
Well,
to realize that debanking is a term.
I think a lot of them are stupid, though. I do. I don't know that Lorne, whatever his name is, the head guy is dumb, but I think a lot of them know what they're doing, but they're playing into our youth and the left, who is their echo chamber. They're not very smart. They're not.
I love Terry's take on this. Actually, they did a service because now people are talking about debanking.
Yeah, true.
Which is a serious situation, which Donald Trump says he is not going to allow happen. He says he's not going to allow digital, which would be I think that's a big deal too, because that whole digital aspect of things takes us more closer to a global situation.
Correct.
And we already know global elites want that and would go with that whole situation. Donna said, forgot to say hello to Eric. I don't know what that is about.
I don't know. Maybe she's saying hi to Eric. Eric's not here today. He was here Friday.
I don't remember this. Roland says, remember when they made fun of Trump for talking about coyotes? I don't remember that. Do you guys remember that? I don't remember the coyote deal.
Remember when they made fun of Trump for talking about coyotes? Yes, because they did. I do remember that. It was, they didn't understand that coyotes,
the term crossing
coyotes,
the border.
Yes, they didn't understand that they were part of the cartel and the sex trafficking, bringing the people in. So they thought he was just talking about the animal coyotes, not the term of bringing people in here illegally. They made fun of him bigly for that.
Kimberly with a great point. She's like, but guys, remember, the Saturday Night Live comedy audience isn't that intelligent either.
I agree with her. They're not very smart.
A match made in heaven. So they don't know, and then they spew out other things.
Correct.
And then other people just spew out all kinds of stuff because that's what's fun to them to do.
Yeah.
It's really bad, but unfortunately, those things are happening all over the world. And it happens with Donald Trump because he's the guy that's trying to do what he can to stand in the way of a lot of the bullshit that's happening all over the place. This is cancelthisshow.com. Thank our sponsors, our partners, Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, leading supplier in traditional and infrared saunas and saltwater hot tubs. Experienced real estate partners, Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick, with New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage, and of course, New Age Health and Wellness. Going to do that. I did my blood work with New Age. By the way, we have links that you can contact these people, all of our partners on our page. Really, really, really awesome. Can't wait to do the New Age stuff like you did, Lizzie.
Yeah, it's great.
Route 66 Cannabis. I saw Ham posting some pictures from St. Bart's. He's like, I could see myself staying here forever.
I could, I would not be surprised if
I think
he's
entering week 3, Route 66 Cannabis, 5 locations, awesome locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, by the way. Their newest one is on Manchester and 270 in De Pere. They have the Cubana line. They also have the Ostara line of products, which are in several dispensaries across the state, as he promotes not just Route 66, but he promotes a lot of dispensaries buying his products there. Strategic Air Services, of course, where we broadcast live out of. Premier Private Transportation, providers in all things aviation, from aircraft management to concierge services and acquisition. WeQuip USA, a peer-to-peer rental marketplace where renters can go to search for items that they need that their neighbors might not have. And by the way, if anybody's done anything with WeQuip, let me know. Let us know if you've rented anything, if you've put anything on there. I'd like to try to focus on it, to do something maybe on a daily basis as well. And of course, Wendy's, the original food shack of the Gumbo Flats, some of the best pizza, burgers, wings, and smoked meats you're going to find. And you can use their big, spacious, heated outdoor patio, especially during the winter time as well. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks here, Projo in the house as well, as we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Also, check out our merchandise page. This is on cancelthisshow.com. We have hats, we have shirts, we have coolies and cups and Stanleys. We have Cancel coffee, just some really, really, really good stuff. If you haven't gotten some of that stuff, we appreciate it. It helps us. And of course, as we bring up the advertisers, if you know of people we should be partnering with or calling with, let us know. Vic at cancelthisshow.com, Lizzie at cancelthisshow.com, because we can do that. And Crystal with a K at cancelthisshow.com. Okay. It's interesting. Here we go. Denise says, or Donna says, guys, a little off topic, but does anyone else have this happening when they do a search? This is new for me. The words I search are now underlined. Never happened before.
Yes, I see that going on too. And I see that if I try to type something into a chat, even on our chat here on the show, or even if I'm just, chatting on someone's post, and if you put the word president, automatically what comes up now is Obama or Biden, and Trump doesn't come up at all. You have to manually type it. So I'm noticing manufactured words are already showing up on the chat lines, and they're underlining and doing all kinds of different stuff. And I only noticed it last week.
Really?
And weeks before, like months before, I noticed, FB and YT, those are the code words for the platforms, were doing all kinds of crazy things. And then it leveled out. But I think they're like freaking out over Trump, and election season is up. They're going to be playing with the social media again, for sure.
Josh Hawley released some information last week saying that the government is trying to censor people in regards to what they're saying. Once again,
Correct.
Election is coming up. He said they already have reports of this happening, and he's already trying to sound the alarm. You're not going to do this again like you did in 2020.
Correct.
That's election interference.
Yes.
What will he be able to accomplish? I don't know.
Well, I hope, because for a while he wanted to get TikTok outlawed because it was a Chinese company. And I love Josh Hawley, but that was the one thing that I'm glad he's changed his tune on, because now he's not saying that so much about TikTok. He wants to blow the whistle on them trying to censor us on everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he can get done about it too, but he's blowing the whistle.
But it also makes you think too. Here's something else that's been coming out. Now, the National Security Agency, the NSA, which, they're coming into St. Louis for our listeners throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. They got the big contract. It's in St. Louis. They've been accused now of buying Americans' internet browsing information from commercial data brokers without warrants. This is according to documents that were released by Senator Ron Wyden. He's a Democrat from Oregon. Now, this is interesting because this affects everybody, Republicans, Democrats, you name it. Why does the NSA, National Security Agency, want to know what we're browsing about?
Right. And I think everyone, Democrats.
Does this, now, I've always said I would, and people are like, Vic, you're stupid, you're crazy. And okay, I get it. If it meant that my family and I know where they are at every single time and nothing bad could ever happen to them, or at least we knew where somebody was, the whole chip thing, I know it sounds crazy. Don't get on me yet. There's a whole nother deal. I was like, if nobody would get hurt, nobody would suffer any sort of consequences, I would do it.
But you're saying that thinking that people are sane. That
Correct.
sounds great in theory.
But
because
but even with me being that much different than most people that I know,
because I wouldn't do that.
I still would have a massive, massive, massive issue with somebody looking at my browsing information.
Right. And you know what? And a lot of times that they already are. Something that you order, Vic, on
that has nothing to do with the safety issue.
No. But you know what? They're doing that. I do, like when you're not here, Vic, I have several times now played what the Alexa is doing in my house. It goes along with that. They are listening to us on our already on all of our devices. Who's they? Well, it could be marketing companies, people that are trying to sell things, but the government can easily get a hold of that.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to continue to happen. And I'm glad that the senator has brought this information forward. But think about this. When you break it down, he provided unclassified documents, Senator Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, documents revealing that the agency buys American data, including, listen to this, including information about the websites they visit and the apps they use.
Yes. Think about that. The apps they use. All of us
America
on our phone have that.
2024. So the Senate Intelligence Committee called on the U.S. intelligence officials to end this unlawful use of Americans' personal data without their knowledge and consent. This is going on. This isn't, they're trying to do it. This is, they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the committee, which is trying, this is, of course, the Senate Intelligence Committee trying to stop it.
Correct.
They're looking at Vic, Projo's, and Lizzie's information. They know what websites we're on. They know what we're browsing, and they also know what apps we're using. And that goes for all of you viewers and listeners as well.
Correct.
And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, I don't know what would.
And it is really scary. And it is the Democrats too. If you research this, you guys, you can find it. You can find it on almost everywhere. Fox, CNN, MSNBC. So even the Democrats are concerned about that. And that's where I can't understand. They shouldn't have more fear about the current administration when they're scared about this too. They don't want people tracking our stuff.
Derek brings up a good point. We've talked about it before. Just talk out loud. And of course, things you speak about appear on your social media as advertising.
Yes.
And not only do they appear as advertising, I had this happen where it happened within seconds.
Mm-hmm. Seconds. Yeah.
Literally sitting. I'm trying to remember where I was, who I was talking to, but we were talking about something, and then it popped on my phone like 2 seconds later, and I'm like,
isn't that crazy?
Holy moly.
You could be talking about, I'm going to go visit Nevada or Lake of the Ozarks, or I'm going to buy a sauna, or I'm going to buy whatever. And if you guys are listening to the show, you might have it pop up on your social media just because you're listening to something that is talking about that as well.
Oh, this is such a great point. I love our viewers and our listeners. And by the way, we love it when you guys jump in live Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And give your comments and your thoughts. We know most of the people who listen or intake our information, who intake our podcast, are after the live show. But if you jump in, you can help educate us and others. Chris, great point. Guys, that's the Patriot Act at work in conjunction with Obama's policy change to be able to manipulate the American people themselves with political misinformation and propaganda.
100%. That is 100% right.
Wasn't the Patriot Act put in place by George Bush?
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
George Bush is the one that put that in place, but then it was like expounded upon during Obama. And if that one thing you're saying, Projo, doesn't tell you the truth about the Bushes, so many of us voted for the Bushes because we didn't have another alternative, but they've been part of this plan all the way through as well.
Donna says also an app ad will pop up before it takes me to what I'm actually searching for, even businesses.
Yes.
Extremely annoying. And of course, what we're talking about, it's invasive.
It is invasive and it's annoying. Like you said, at the very, very least, it's annoying. You can't do anything on your social media without something popping up that you don't want to even know about.
Roland says, I'm a volleyball fanatic and was talking to somebody at Legacy Park when I got in my car and I got on Facebook, and there it was, an ad for Kerry Walsh.
Isn't that
volleyball
so
great, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And Betty says, yes, of course, for our good, in quotes. And Karen's example that she had recently was, yes, I was talking about a cold medicine and it was on my phone and I didn't look it up. It just showed up on the one med that I was talking about.
That is just so crazy.
That's happened to me. It usually happens. You can almost count on it like clockwork. If it's a medics, if you're talking about a medicine like Dayquil or something like that, you're going to get like, I bet I'll get an ad for it now.
I bet you will too. And it's on our devices that are listening, particularly our phones, our laptops, our computers, our Alexas, or whatever kind of thing that you have that is giving you back information. They're all listening. They're all listening. It used to be that you could put little tape on your cameras on your computers. You could do something to your phones. But now if you have any of those devices in your house, it's listening to you. But the problem is, unless you go back to a rotary phone, and those used to be tapped, and no TV in your house, you're going to be tracked. Everything is tracking you.
Well, what'll freak you out even more about phones is the 5G aspect.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a 5G device, a 5G router in your home,
yes,
it sends out a signal. That 5G sends out waves that it receives back, and it lets it can send that information somewhere, and they can actually see a 3D image of the room or your house, and it actually goes through walls. So it's like,
that's so bizarre.
It's like having a 3D camera of your home, just having a 5G router in your home.
100%.
Well, let's take this a step further. if the National Security Agency wants to know what we're browsing about, has the ability to hear what we're talking about, let's take it a step further. What if it becomes a situation where they don't want you talking or voting or having any sort of sympathy for a candidate like Donald Trump, or they don't like the position that you're taking on something against a global world order, or they don't like who you're talking about voting for with your friends or your family, and they're gaining all of this information and they're writing it down. I know this gets very conspiratorial, but think about that. If why else would they want this isn't the National Broadcasting, the National Advertising Association. This is the National Security Association.
Soon enough, the UN will be knocking at your door if you support a certain.
Donna says,
candidate.
I now leave my cell phone in another room. That time, about a month ago or so, our phones were going to blow up. I left my cell in my car. I have an old TV in my bedroom, not a smart TV. Even the programs I search are being monitored now.
Yeah.
What's funny is the 5G aspect of what I was talking about. I'm not sure what the range is. However, it goes through walls. It will give a 3D image of everything in a specific.
Do you know a lot about 5G, 2G? Is 2G that much more secure? It was a question that we had from the chat line.
Apparently, there's something about 5G. It's powerful enough to do what I'm talking about, but 4G and any other lower is not capable.
Correct. That's why if you're driving down the highway or driving the road and you're trying to like get on the internet, and so many places you can get on the internet right in your car and you're not hooked to it because there's 5G towers everywhere. Why is it some places you can't get it? Because there's either no towers or like a 2G tower.
It concerns me.
However, it doesn't matter whether you're close to a 5G tower or not. It can still do that.
Correct.
That function that I.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is
what a
really
great point.
That's really scary. And people were warning us for so long about 5G, don't get it. But I know most people have it because everything has gone like shows like this and other things that you need far away video links.
Spectrum promotes the hell out of it.
They sure do. All of them do.
They want you to have that 5G.
They sure do. And almost everybody I know has it now. And we know that there's problems with it.
Well, they actually force you into it. Like it's literally everything is becoming 5G. I have sleep apnea, so I have a CPAP machine that's 5G.
Isn't that crazy? Right. That is so crazy.
You don't need and this is the kicker. You don't need a cell. You don't need you don't even need internet to be able to use it, and it communicates with the nearest tower and sends whoever receives the information, all the information that comes from that CPAP machine.
Yeah, that is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Everything is on that, and it's not going away for sure. It's been coming.
You don't even need internet. It automatically connects with the nearest tower.
Wow, that says a lot. That says a lot. You know, when you're sitting there in your car and you see that stuff coming up and you're not even on your own phone, that is just nuts.
I'm looking at some other information that's coming up. I'll get to this in just a little bit. Oh man, it does make me think about this again for a second. Let me jump off this what we're talking about. Does this is this what's wrong with America, Joe? I'm sending you a picture. This I guess, when did this come out? Yeah, this just came out this morning. Okay. Hang with me, guys, here. I know it's not the best podcast in the world when I'm sending something to Joe, but I just saw this. We monitor news as it's going on as well. And we appreciate everything that you guys do for us too, as well, by giving us stories and things that are happening. But I wanted to show you this and we'll get to it. And it has to do with where this country is going and Americans kind of being lost and just we're all into entertainment and fun and, you know, and excitement and video games and music and just we want to laugh. Yeah, these are all the things.
And those things are all not bad fundamentally. It's what we have to use to get on these things.
Yeah. So Joe, just let me know when you get this and you can go ahead and pop it up. But what I'm talking about. Oh, I got to say this while Joe's doing that. The voice recognition. Yeah, it's voice recognition.
Mhm.
That is scary. It's kind of like an AirTag, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Chris says most radio waves can pass through walls. I think this is what Joe was talking about, 5G or not.
Yeah.
Try this experiment. Put your phone down next to an older digital clock radio. The clock will randomly freak out due to the signal broadcasting from your phone, even if you're not on it.
Yeah,
Wow.
isn't that crazy?
I did not think about that.
Somebody told me about this probably a year or two ago, and I still have an old radio in my bathroom with the antenna and all of that. But if you do what was told,
you buried the lead. What?
yeah,
What kind of radio has an old antenna on it?
I just have had it for years and years and years. And one day I had it.
You don't remember radios having antennas?
I don't know any of those that I've seen in the last 15, 20 years.
You can still get one on Amazon. They're
Are
not
you
even
serious?
Yeah, you can get an old radio with an
I remember
antenna.
pulling the antenna up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have one, and it does exactly that. That if you're having something on 5G, trying to listen to that, it'll go, and you think you're losing frequency. It does. It freaks out.
You can actually hear when you're getting a phone call, like a few seconds before the phone actually starts ringing.
Yes.
You'll hear a beep, coming through the,
He's right. I'd like do that. Make that noise again, Joe.
No, that's all right.
Any device that transmits a signal creates RF energy and can interfere with other electronic devices.
Yeah.
That would make sense. If you don't know electronics, you're not, I mean, it's fine.
You don't know.
If
Yeah.
you do, then obviously this stuff is like knowing your alphabet.
And yes, radio signals can pass through wall.
Yes.
All radio signals can pass through walls, but however, the 5G, there's something about the 5G that they can actually like get a 3D map of a certain radius around whatever 5G device.
And here we are dealing with that stuff. Somebody wanted us. I just had this sent out to me too. Do you guys have a problem with this? This is the New York Post this morning. 3 American service members died in a drone attack because Joe Biden didn't do what he was supposed to do. He has not protected American. He has allowed drone attacks on Americans, specifically since the Hamas/Palestinian love of Hamas attack in Israel. When that happened, was that October 7th? Look at this. So no mention on the front page. It's all about Taylor Swift.
I was just going to say
Travis Kelce.
I love the top story here.
Yeah, sealed with a kiss. You get the 3 U.S. soldiers in there.
And I
shall respond.
And I get that people think this is really fun with the whole Taylor Swift thing, but we just had 3 servicemen die by a drone, and you don't hardly hear anyone talking about that.
And it's not the top story.
It's not the top story. It should be the number 1 story. Since Biden has started, we have lost so many people in the service, and he hardly ever mentions it. I mean,
Jay reminds, I knew it was over 100. I did not know it was 160. Jay, I trust your sourcing on this. 160 attacks since October 6th.
Yes.
And you don't see national media complaining about this a lot.
They're not saying it at all.
Fox News does some stuff every now and then. Local doesn't talk about it. American men and women, because Biden's not doing anything.
It makes him look
He's
bad.
not doing anything about it. Now, he has had so much pressure since this happened and so many people going out and saying things about him that there's pressure. He said, we're going to respond. Okay, great. What does that mean? Does that really make people feel comfortable? Do you really think he's going to go take out this militant group that's backed by Iran, who we gave $16 billion to?
That's terrible.
To come and then start killing Americans on their soils? No. No. Todd says Taylor Swift has a concert on February 10th in Japan. Will she make the Super Bowl? Yes.
Yeah, she'll make it.
I
She'll
promise
be there.
you. And
she'll be there.
And you can physically do it because somebody else already broke that information out, that you can take a flight from Japan and make it back in time. After her show, she'll be shuttled to that plane and I'm in the air and on the way back for the Super Bowl.
There. She'll be there.
In Vegas from
Vegas.
Japan.
She'll be there.
Landon says, if you don't have OAN or Newsmax, you won't hear shit about anything going on in the real world. We've talked about that quite a bit here, Landon. It's a great point.
That is because Fox, as much as they do good surfacey things, that's all they do. You have to do the deep dives, OAN, Newsmax, Real America News, Right Side Broadcasting, and of course, Cancel This, because we research. But you won't see it on the surfacey things. Even some of other surfacey podcasts, they will talk about just what Fox News is talking. And then others do the deep dives. And so if you want to stay surfacey, just turn on Fox News because they'll tell you the surface stuff.
Well, that leads us into what's happening. Three American silver service people died. 3 more died. Several more injured because of attacks in this whole in the Middle East. And it should be, it should be the number one story that this is what Iran-backed groups are doing, and they are backed by Iran. So then people can't say, oh, well, this is going on because of occupation. No, bullshit. I don't want to hear any of this ceasefire crap, any of this other stuff until you take care of the problems that you have. They're causing problems all over the place. There's no excuse for drone. There is no excuse for the tax. There's no excuse for hostages. None of this. You should be negotiating. You should be giving up hostages. None of this crap. And because they did this, 3 or 4 countries this morning also have stopped aid to that region, to about 2 million people in the Gaza area. I think the United States may even stop aid. And then guess what? Then if you stop aid, then you have all these pro-Palestinian people who like to go out and do their rallies and do all of their holdups and parking lots and roads and are saying ceasefire. Now they're saying they already started to complain and say, well, what did we do wrong?
Oh, stop.
Literally, this is the point. What did we do wrong? Now you're taking away our aid, which we need to eat. And you know what? Guess what? They might have a point, but they allowed this to happen in their country.
Correct.
They allowed it. They voted these people and they refused to admit who was taking over their country. And then you have all these sympathizers who don't have one iota of an idea of what's actually going on. They just hear what they hear at their college or somebody they think they trust, and then they go out and try to support these dumbass movements. I'm sorry. And I have friends who are Middle Eastern and they're wonderful people, but the fact that they say all this ceasefire bullshit and they don't address all the facts, shame on them.
But they don't care about the facts. I don't have friends that are doing that, but I have new neighbors that have moved in behind us that they're all this pro-Palestinian bullshit, and they are Middle Eastern, and they don't like Americans. They don't. They're over here in America to get what America can offer them, but they don't like our country. So they're just Palestine first, and they don't care what happens to us. And it infuriates me. I'm like, go the hell home then. Go the hell home. And it's like, and they might even be here legally, but they don't like our country. I don't get it, other than they just take and take and take what they can get from our country, and then they spit on our flag.
Well, everybody's looking for a cause and they want to go back. Yeah,
That's
I'm cool. I'm fine.
cause.
I want to go. People, we're humans. We have anger. And we have emotional things, and if they find a way to like go, this is my outlet where I'm going to go do this. Yeah, I'm not successful, so I'm going to go out and do all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm not getting what I want in life, so I'm going to try to take down the man and all this other BS, bullshit, crap, you name it, whatever word you want to use, is going on.
Well, and it's aggravating. Todd just said, my new neighbors are spitting in the faces of our veterans that have died for us. They technically died for them too, because they're over here living the American dream and spitting on our veterans that died. I agree.
Landon says all the free shit is their only desire, not assimilation.
Yep.
Might be. It's
right.
a slow burn, guys, according to Roland. They assimilate until it's time.
Correct.
But Americans, once again, we're too comfortable. It's about Taylor and Travis and our fun and our video games, and life is good and comfortable, and let's all be sweet and kind and nice. Yes, we should be.
Well,
but you better wake up.
We better wake up. And we were going back to the social media. I just got someone that sent
another reason why Joe Biden has done more harm to this country in 3 years than any other president in the history of our country.
And we're calling out the truth. And I just had someone said that your comment may go against our community standards because your comment and cancel this looks similar to the content that we removed going against community standards. And all the person said is they are dumb. And so are the majority of Americans, unfortunately. That was it. Nothing hateful, nothing they are really, really going full force in what we're talking about.
Don, this is interesting. I don't have an issue with this, but you're going to see more of it as time goes on. Does it make you look twice? Maybe, but it doesn't mean people are illegal. And if they're at a bank, they have to be legal. So I think this is fine. But Donna's like, I was at my bank. I noticed about 5 individuals opening accounts, all speaking in languages I could not understand. Sounded Ukrainian, Turk, Russian, maybe. Yeah, that can happen. I doubt illegals are opening up bank accounts at banks. God, I hope not. I hope not, considering that in Illinois they can be police officers, considering they're giving phones, considering they're giving money. Yeah, who knows? Donna says, need real news and educate these young people. That's what we do here. Obviously, we're not reaching everybody that we need to be reaching or want to reach yet. Mm-hmm. There are factors that stop us from doing that, but we're going to continue to try. And that's what we do every day. Todd says, yes, my mom has been banned. Mary Tainter. Okay, we got it. Those things can kind of, so many things are effed up. Yes, they are, which is why we try to bring attention to them and not just forget about it, because it would be easy to go about our daily lives and just go, okay, whatever. Yeah, whenever it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, bomb's going to drop. People are going to be racing through the streets, taking my house, whatever else, living in my house because of all the illegals coming into this country. Yeah. I heard the word poor migrants at a place I was at yesterday.
Oh, really?
I'm not kidding.
What did you say?
Nothing. It wasn't said to me. It was an overheard. It was a conversation. I was a guest in somebody else's home.
Okay, so you couldn't say anything.
Poor migrants. Poor migrants.
Well, you know what?
Oh, those poor migrants.
Oh, stop it.
Poor migrants. That's the tone that it was used in.
Well, and you know what's interesting about that? In one case, you can look at it as, oh, poor migrants. The migrants, well, illegals. They're not migrants. We're asked to come over here on these apps and promised all of this better life. And I know I sent you guys a video yesterday, and if we don't have it, that's fine. We can play.
What video did you send?
There was a video of, I sent to you guys of, I didn't send it to you, Joe, on, email,
no,
but it was a really good one, exactly to your point, that these migrants are illegals are coming over to New York primarily, and they're promised all of these things, and they're not getting any of them. So they're disgruntled. So not only do you have these illegals over here, they don't even get what they're being promised. And then our Americans are like, oh, poor little migrants. But they're now committing crimes because they were promised all this money, and now this money is either drying up or they're not giving them, and they'll stay in a hostel one night, apartments in another night. They're coming from all over the place, and then they're just milling our streets all over with nowhere to go. So then our dumbass people, like the people that are your friends or whoever they were, are like, oh, poor migrants. Tell them to get the hell out. They were better off where they came from than coming here.
Joe says, I tried to share a Texas flag saying I support Texas on FB over the weekend, and FB notified me saying that my post may violate community standards for hate speech because you support Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear that a lot. Our Facebook post this weekend, and a lot of people that I know were attacked more than I've seen them in a long time. You can't hardly put anything up unless it's a dog or a cat. So any of you guys, that's
or Biden.
So, but if
E. Jean Carroll, liar,
those you can put up. But if you wanted to defuse, here's a little trick. If you want to defuse some of those people doing that, and sometimes people are like, why do you just put a picture of a cat or a picture of a beer? If you do that, it diffuses the algorithm. So if you've got a picture of a dog or your beer or something that is absolutely not political but cute, that diffuses the algorithms a little bit. So everybody put a picture of your dog on your Facebook page.
Jay says on the chat line, interesting stat here. I heard last year of Trump, when Trump was president, only 360 Chinese migrants. This year so far, 24,000. Okay, there it is.
That's crazy.
Another thing, Vic Lizzie, Joe, did you guys see where Ilhan Omar said she will do whatever she needs to do to elevate the Somalian agenda? This is a U.S. elected political official. She will do whatever she needs to do to elevate the Somalian agenda, and the U.S. government will only do what Somalia tells them to, and to expand Somalia. This is a U.S. representative, of course, blatantly committing treason. That's exactly what she is doing. Donna says, what about our poor kids living on the street with absent parents, foster kids, veterans? Yes,
Yeah.
there's so many things that are going on.
And we need to be taking care of those people, but we can't do it because all of our money is going towards the illegals. They're flooding the border and now they have nowhere to go. I mean, they're building apartments in Maine, they're building apartments all over the place. And I'm not saying all these apartments are,
by the way, they're not being
illegal.
just and we broadcast out of the St. Louis metropolitan area in the St. Charles County area. They're also being built in St. Louis County.
Yeah, they are.
I see them.
They
right
are.
now.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
It is something that people need to be concerned about. And it also leads into something else here. Think about this. As Robert reminds us, and we knew it was just a matter of time because it's going to happen. This wheel is going to continue to turn.
Mm-hmm.
You give more and more money away as a minimum wage because, of course, everybody's deserved. They're deserving of such high wages. Layoffs are on the way.
Oh, yeah.
January 1st, the minimum wage, $16. Starting April 1st, it jumps to $20 an hour for fast food. Think about that.
Yes.
Only $4 more. The bump is a 25% increase for businesses.
Yeah.
Now, if you assume a standard 40-hour work week, that's $41,600 annual income for a position traditionally done by a high school kid with no skills and no experience. $41,000. Businesses will fold. Mark my words. They will.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared for inflation because every time they raise the minimum wage, inflation comes up and the cost of living goes up.
Correct.
But Americans don't want to hear that. It's like, oh yeah, let's get more money. Yeah, those are nice guys over there. Those mean Republicans. No, there's something called fiscal responsibility at the same point in time. Why do you think you've got the life that you've got this reason and this way so far? It's because there's checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
There are laws and order. There are things in position and place that have been around. You don't just come in and say, I deserve this, I deserve that. You go work for it.
Correct.
Your egg rolls are about to become the size of mini corn dogs and twice the price.
Absolutely. You go to the grocery store and something that used to be $40 is now $85. And it has the minimum wage. It has the layoffs. And you guys, we're just at the beginning of all the layoffs that are going to happen. People are going to lose their jobs left and right. And we've said this before. It is not going to be the higher ups. It's not going to be the low man. It's going to be the average middleman that makes up 80% of the country. You're all going to start getting laid off.
Todd, great point. He says that 2 small shakes from Arby's cost $12.99. 2 small shakes. And it's not just at Arby's. It's at a lot of
that was at
places.
Andy's. He's talking about the ice cream.
And
It's expensive.
and it's not all that much better at the grocery stores. It's not.
Correct.
And of course, we all know a lot of the healthy food, of course, costs more, and it does, which is insane. The whole situation is stacked against the average American.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens. $97 for football food. I don't know what that means.
Well, probably just have people over at her house. Just $97
saw my first
to feed her guests.
Saw my first fully automated order taken at a drive-through at a KC McDonald's this weekend in Kansas City. Only had the cooks and a single cashier.
Yeah.
But think about this though. Yes, nobody wants to put all of this money in for people's wages, and I hate it and I think it's stupid. But talk to anybody who's trying to find workers.
They can't find any workers. They can't find them. So they're going automated for that.
Automated for that, and also trying to attract workers in because these people won't work for any money more than what they're trying to get in these new wages.
Well, think about this. Why would you want to go to a job, work 40 hours a week, and still have to be on food stamps and government assistance because the cost of living has gone up? You might be making $20 an hour, but that doesn't mean shit anymore.
Correct.
And we know, and it goes into other things, but it's what's happened with our government. It's what happens when government takes over. I mean, the American dream has been gone. You can't buy a house anymore whatsoever unless you're making big time money right out of college. It's like the hopes of getting a home have been shattered. Not for everybody, but if you're younger, it takes a long time now. It can take a while.
Yeah, and that's why
to do something responsibly. Now we talk about it with Steve and Kathy and the ways that you can do it, but it's difficult. Very, very difficult.
It is. And it can be done. Like our two older children both own their own homes, but it took us strategically all along having them work. My kids worked and saved money from the time that they were like 15 or 16. But most parents don't have the time and the energy to understand that's coming. So I think both of my older kids, none of their friends own a home. None of them.
People on fixed income is also a big deal.
Yes.
Literally, the retired may kill literally the elderly and retired, according to Robert. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I feel sorry for the elderly.
For a birthday gift for a friend, 5 items at the grocery store, $66. If you're not really looking at your receipts, if you're not really looking at how much you're spending, it may shock you what you spent last month if you're able to compare it to 2 years ago, because these tickets, I see your tickets, Derek. It's a Super Bowl. Of course, it's going to cost you $29,000. The worst seats in the place. It's sold out. It's in Vegas. First time. That's a big deal. I get that. And apparently people are paying the price to go to it. So that's what happens. Donna says, any update on that convoy going to Texas? I thought they were already there trying to help with the border.
A lot of them are already there, as well as some very big tractors, but more and more are coming. But here's the interesting thing.
And be
about
careful
that.
with your comments. I mean, we love your comments, or word them in a way. Robert just said he was flagged.
I am getting, my phone is getting dinged and dinged and dinged that all of you are getting flagged. So just be careful for what you're saying.
We see you. We see you.
We see what's going
Peter
on.
Ball.
And it's probably, I'd say just 20 of our listeners have just been dinged for things that are nothing. And so, like, talking about this trucker convoy, I don't know how this will get us dinged, but most of them are already down there, but they're coming from all over the place. But you'll watch that a lot of people will not play video of this, because as soon as they put a video of it, they take their entire page down.
Abe says, oh, yeah, but the economy's just fine. Markets are at new heights. Everything's great under Biden. I think the market is being manipulated because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. If A doesn't connect to B and B to C, you know something's up. And of course, it's an election year. And that's why we started this off this year, talking about how important 2024 is and what's on the line. So much more than what any of us know, even for those on this show that think we know so much more behind the scenes that we haven't even been told. Things that we can imagine, but things that we may not know. Tracy reminds us that her homeowner's insurance just went up to $900 this year, and her real estate taxes went from about $1,000, went up about to $1,000. Wow. For many, this is going to impact them immediately. Of course it is.
Yes, it's going to impact because everything is rising. Even your city local taxes have gone up. It's all going up. And here's a big problem that is aggravating me with Republicans. And this is at local and federal. Our taxes are going up and up and up and up and up. And we've got great politicians that want to lower the taxes, but they're so busy playing Mickey Mouse games on both sides that we can't get anything done.
Are you talking about from a local standpoint?
I'm talking about both. I'm talking about both in Missouri. I'm talking about all over the place and in all municipalities. Look at wherever you live and look at the Republicans. They're not singing Kumbaya like the Democrats are. And a lot of Republicans are going, good, I don't want them singing Kumbaya. I want them fighting. No, you don't. You need them all on the same page. But because of egos and personalities is why these dumbasses are there fighting. And the loudest, look out for the loudest screaming. A lot of times they're the problem. And this is a shout out to Republicans. Stop doing your dumbass little games and get on the same page and legislate to lower our taxes. Stop the jokes, stop the games, because that's what they're all doing. They're all doing it. You need to knock it off. So if you have a Republican and they're coming at you going, oh, come to my rally, or oh, come to this, say, dumbass, shut your dumbass, go back to the legislation floor and legislate. So I'm telling you this right now. The people that you think are fighting for you, they are causing an issue. They are dumbasses and they need to stop it. Do not tell. They can't even see what you're doing over there. Oh, Joe, you need to put the camera on him, what he's doing when I'm saying this. But anyway, so I'm going to go back to that is because I implore all of you to, if you get an email or you get a text like, oh, we're fighting and we're going to rally, tell them to stop it and go on the floor, no matter what state you're in, and fight for the American people. Fight for lowering taxes. If they're grandstanding, they're not on the floor. Knock it off. That pisses me off, you guys, because they love the people that are on the internet going, come on, guys, so-and-so hurt my feelings because they did this and they did that.
But at least the U.S. national debt is taking a sign for the worse, as it's showing no signs of slowing down.
Oh, because our debt is getting bigger and bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and our taxes are going up and up and up, while our legislators and I'm even talking about in DC, they're doing these grandstanding stuff. Like you said it where Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, it looks like they are fighting for us. No, they are grandstanding too. They're all in this fighting to get nothing done. The loudest one screaming is the one you got to watch out for. The one that if you go to DC, Jeff City, and they've got their head to the grind and they're not on Facebook and they're not doing that, they're legislating. That's our problem, Vic, is too many people are grandstanding just to get elected.
Well,
and they're not doing their job.
We have listeners and viewers all across the country. In the state of Missouri, they started something called the Freedom Caucus, which Lizzie's talked about. We've talked about. There is a rally tomorrow, but I see this rally and I'm like, and I'm not trying to do away with it. I'm not trying to poo-poo it. I'm not.
Right.
I don't know what really can be done, but it may make somebody feel good for a second.
Correct.
But it's not going to matter when it comes to legislation.
Correct. And I am one of those.
I don't want to poo-poo it.
I don't want to poo-poo it either. See, I feel like that too. I don't want to poo-poo it, but what you're doing is you're picking sides there, and everybody wants you to pick sides. You just want your people that are involved in this rally to actually then go back to the floor and stop the grandstanding and legislate. And I'm not picking
Bendy
sides.
says whatever they're doing tomorrow, it won't accomplish
anything. It won't accomplish a damn thing. And so many people are going to take off of work, lose money to
Donna
go
says
stand in the hall.
Rainbows.
It is. And they're going to stand there and yell and scream. And sometimes they're yelling and screaming at good legislators that are just doing their job because they don't have the facts.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
We just want to make it a point that we also, Todd, love Taylor Swift, and we love the fact that she's at the Super Bowl.
What?
We're all into that.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep his FB clean.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Yes. So talk about rainbows and unicorns.
That's how you cleanse everything. Just go,
I agree.
We love Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit. Yeah. Because what I'm saying is going to get us flagged. But I just want people to understand that just don't jump on the loudest person. The loudest person is often, what are they doing? They're not doing their job. And that's what we need to hold our people accountable is knock off these rallies, knock off this bullshit, and go to work and unite. Stop the fighting. It's ridiculous. The Democrats are not fighting in DC and all around your little municipalities, but the Republicans are grandstanding and they need to knock it off. And I'm not talking about any one side. They're all doing it. But if they're being pretty quiet, they're working. They're not hiding. They're working while everyone else is putting on a show.
Well, it's just one of those things. We know what's happened from a financial standpoint. I don't know what got us onto that or why you started talking about that, but I know it did. It did happen. And we're trying to deal with all of it. I just get, and of course, Todd says, I guess we will need a Black Swan event. I can't remember. It was Catherine Herridge. We showed you that sound before the new year. It was back in December. Very respected reporter. Used to work at Fox News. Think she works at CBS. She said she expects they're like, oh, what are you expecting for 2024? And she's like, a Black Swan event. I'm sorry that this is a little dark.
Yeah.
So you're not alone in saying that a Black Swan event is or could be on the way down. So,
well, and somebody wants you to explain what a Black Swan event is.
Something that is destroying this country, something that changes our way of life, something that could be catastrophic, something that gets everybody's attention and you're like, oh crap. And then of course you can let your mind go from there. Diane says state Democrats will not allow ranked choice voting like they have in St. Louis City. Very interesting because in St. Louis City, it's ranked choice. You get points for finishing in second and third place, which I think is just absolutely ridiculous, but whatever. I'm not into it. If you're going to do it, then it should be done everywhere. There shouldn't be differences in the city. There shouldn't be differences in the county, but in the city now they're like, and I'm convinced this is so they don't have to put a D next to their name because they have just destroyed St. Louis City and Chicago and all the other liberal areas, New York. You don't run as a independent, a Republican, or a Democrat. You just run as a candidate.
Right.
They don't put
right.
the letter in front of
Correct. And that's where in those areas, if you go into the city, I would love to see somebody that doesn't have an R or a D behind their name and actually go run against some of those deep state city Democrats. They might win if they just speak up because nobody votes. So if you can go door to door, but that's the problem in the city is people don't go door to door to meet the people. They just talk and talk and talk and talk. Things could be changed.
Hey, what did you say was bullshit earlier? What were you talking about?
I was saying a lot of things were bullshit.
Do you remember one?
Well, I was talking about our Republicans not working together and grandstanding is bullshit.
It is.
Bullshit.
Not seeing it, man.
It's so funny though.
We need to see
You're
it.
just supposed to hear it.
No, I want to.
It'll soon be a drop, but okay.
Yeah, we want to see it.
Here
We
we
want to see it.
the kid. We are a visual platform. This kid is funny as hell.
Play the kid.
Lizzie is like,
This is me.
What? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
That is so me right now to our legislators. That's bullshit. Bullshit. That's what you guys need to be saying too when somebody comes to you and goes, "Oh,
all
let's
this
go to
stuff
this."
frustrates the hell out of us.
Bullshit.
We try to have some fun with it at the
Yeah.
same point in time. This is cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate you guys jumping in with us. Of course, thanks to our sponsors, Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, leading supplier in traditional and infrared saunas and saltwater hot tubs. Eric's getting his. Hooked him up with a Amini. He's gonna get a sauna. He's looking at that.
I love it.
Experienced real estate partners, Kathy Hobig Strict, of course, New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage, Steve Strict, and they have that company, New Age Health Wellness. Amazing. Those guys are packed with making sure that your testosterone levels are good, men and women from a testosterone standpoint. You go in, you hang out, you get the right dose, you take your blood work from the doctors who are there, the nurses, all kinds of weight loss situations where people are having serious success. I did my blood work last week. I'll let you know how that goes soon. Route 66 Cannabis, your fast lane to the Midwest premier cannabis shopping experience. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Also, Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast live. They're the providers in all things aviation, from aircraft management to concierge services and acquisition, and they're always looking for pilots. WeQuip, a peer-to-peer rental marketplace where renters can go to search for items they need that their neighbors might not have. And of course, our favorites, Wendy's, the Wendy's Food Check, some of the best pizza, burgers, wings, smoked meat you're going to find. And it's served in their outdoor heated patio during the wintertime. CancelThisShow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website. CancelThisShow.com. Of course, you can always check out our merchandise. We got our merchandise there as well. Hats, cups, Stanleys, you name it. Cancel This Coffee, shirts. We got lots of things there. Also,
Can we have a shirt that says politics? That's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And we have a donate button as well if you want to donate to our cause as well. We're grateful for that. Donna says, thanks, Vic. Now I'm hungry. Todd says, how did the Lions blow their lead? Well, they blew their lead because their meathead coaches, I'm going to go for it. Not once, but twice on 4th down when you take the field goals in NFC championship games. Everybody knows that. But the NFL is rigged. That's how the Lions blew their lead, because in the second half, lots of big gamblers came back, and you can bet second half totals too. But that's a whole nother deal when we talk betting. I know these things because I have a friend who does it. He had his own show on ESPN. He broke off and now he does his own show. That's why I tell you this stuff is serious, and don't think for a second that these games are not influenced. Especially primetime games are influenced when it comes to Vegas. Vegas is not around to lose money. Just remember that. And don't think for a second, as we've seen with all the evidence, that they're not associated with these games in some way or another. And it doesn't mean it has to be players. It can be coaching. It can be calls, referees, where it would happen more so than it would with players. Anyway, I digress as we get back to what we were talking about. I have noticed it where I cannot believe when I'm going, because of the price. We're talking money. And what's happening with the money situation. And I do think it's a serious deal when they go to $20 an hour in California, that there's going to be layoffs. And this is all in 2024.
Yep.
This is happening. And that's what concerns me. And the other thing about it is you get $14 to $20 an hour and you're literally giving $2 service.
Correct. That's what I've noticed too.
And it's not just because we're older or parents now. It is. Even my kids have been programmed to think that less service is okay. Well, they're trying, Dad. And then I would use that meme. Bullshit.
You bullshit.
Bullshit. They're not trying. That's what they do because they don't care. And that work ethic starts with parents. You got to teach kids how to work. I think it's better now for kids who have a work ethic than ever before.
I do too.
Because you will stand out. You go get proactive. You do what you can. You're going to look different than all these other spoiled ass rotten kids that aren't doing shit.
Yes.
Or feel entitled. Well, I should have this and I should have that. What a great time to go make something for yourself with all the opportunities. Because allegedly there's all kinds of jobs that are available.
There's no better time than to tell your children this. If you just do the best you know how to do, and then even push even harder, you will excel compared to everyone else, because people are teaching their kids to they don't have to listen. They're owed $17 an hour to slap a hamburger and just look at you like, I showed up today. What more do you want from me? This is a good time for your child to excel. It actually is.
And then they give you attitude if like you don't tip them what they feel like they're tipped. They need to be tipped. Like I don't know. I remember going into a Steak and Shake and ordering a burger at a counter and not having to tip the person.
Okay,
right?
I'm glad you brought this up. Friday night. This is great. Friday night. Or Friday early evening. Or middle evening. I'm getting Qdoba.
Okay.
They say I'm trying to pay for getting Qdoba, and they say, you'll have to answer a question. It's about tip. And then it said 5, 10, 15 other. And I'm like, okay, so here's what I did. The woman was the young girl. See, I move fast. I'm a black and white person. I know what I want. I'm not one of these people that goes up and, let me decide. Let me think. Oh, I see there's like 10 people behind me. And I'm sorry if you're one of these people. I'm offending you. I'm just saying. Like I go up there and I'm moving. I already know what I want. It's like, give me bowl, rice, double chicken. We're going to put some guac in there. We'll put lettuce in there. I'm like, we're moving through. I'm their dream because I'm moving through fast because I know what I want. I don't go up there and then wait. And some people like to do this and go up there and wait all day. That's fine. It's your prerogative. It's not illegal to do that. So she could tell, and I make sure they can tell with I'm like, okay, you ready? Ready? Let's go.
Ready? Let's go.
Let's race the clock. And we finished, and she did it. Like, so I gave her, I just did a 10% tip. So I did it. And she's like, you need a receipt? I was like, no. And she just turned her back on me and walked. And I'm like, does she not know that she was just tipped? Do people just not care? Do they think 10% on a small order is nothing?
They don't care. Even if I could see a person like that, Vic, you tipped nothing or you tipped a lot. She's just rude. And so it doesn't matter.
And I didn't think she was rude. You know, she came across to me as being, this is how she's been conditioned, and aloof.
Aloof. Okay. Yeah. Well, aloof is rude. Aloof is rude. If you go anywhere and they don't say, thank you, sir, or have a nice day or something like that, aloof is rude.
I'm not sure if they see it or not. I want to know if they see it or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they see it. I know if you give cash in a tip jar and you do it right in front of them, they see it. But when they press that button, I don't know if they know. And a lot of those kind of bother me anyway, because if somebody gives good service, you want it to go to that person, not in this whole tip jar or not in this bank, and then they just dole it out as they
But you know
fit.
what? This is what a lot of people do. They do it at Winty's too. They share tips.
Yeah, I hate that.
Because some people may get a better table than other people, and it's the luck of the draw. That's life.
That is life.
But you could have a shitty server, but they don't have any of those at Winty's. And you could have a great server at another table. The great server gets a massive tip. The other one doesn't. And then you put that tip in there. Let's say you get $100.
And you got to share it.
And then you share it equally.
Yeah.
among
And
everybody.
a lot of restaurants are doing
I like the
sharing.
team concept, but the team concept does not promote individual work ethic.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of that. We owned a restaurant, and we did not do the share tipping thing because I was like, if you're a server and then you suck that day, you deserve the bad news. And you can always give more training, but that just to me even seems almost like a Democrat socialist type thing. Let's all share. You don't have to work as hard, and you can stay home and sit on your front porch, and you're going to get paid for the same as the person that goes to work. I am so not for that.
I don't like that. If somebody doesn't say thank you,
yeah, that's bullshit. That's right. Tip sharing is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Derek says tips to ensure prompt service. I wish it was the case, but it's not.
No.
If I even ask a question in front of one of my kids, they're like, oh, Dad, don't ask questions. That makes us look bad. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
I know.
You're a son of mine.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They're trying hard. I was like, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my daughter works for tips at a place in Columbia, Missouri. She does a great job.
Does she share? Is it tip sharing there?
No, I don't think it is.
Good for her.
No, I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a chain. And that's just how they do it, where they do it at Winty's. I disagree with how they do it at Winty's, but that's how the ladies like it over there.
Well, and maybe that's a different story, because Wendy's is so family operated and all those ladies seem to get along. So maybe it doesn't bother them, because I would think if it did, they would probably change it.
But here's the other thing. Facebook viewer says it is BS because I lose my bonus at work if another driver gets in an accident.
Yeah, that happens with people that are, job sharing with drivers and tips. If one person does something bad, then it affects all of you. That's not right. That is not right.
Well, we're going to see more and more of those issues pop up, and there's going to be problems, because I guarantee there's going to be less and less people working in the service industry. There will be, unless all jobs are gone and nobody has any money, and then they have to go and do something at a fast food restaurant.
Correct. Because we got to be careful with that. You've got to figure out today.
But think of that. $20 an hour is $41,600 a year.
And that's not a livable wage.
40 hours a week at $20 an hour.
Wow. And see, for a kid, that is really good money. Really good money. But then, so what do? You now this hamburger is $1 million instead of $2.99. I mean, it's just, I can't even wrap my head around. If you would try to explain to ourselves 20 years ago what we're living through today, we wouldn't even have believed it.
Donna says those illegals will take those jobs.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually going to drive the wage back down.
It might. That's a good point.
So now we're going to be stuck with all these high prices and even lower wages, because people are going to be working for pennies.
Most kids don't work full time, guys. Just reminding you of that. That's a good point. We get it from the chat line, but still, it gives you an idea of what's going to happen to these places. Kid my ass. I wish I could get a job that paid $20 an hour. Yeah, no, it's a great point. But I also know business owners, and you can't find people to work. We've had a difficult time trying to find people to sell our show.
Right.
I mean, legitimately trying to sell it. Like, we need people.
Right.
And we tell people, damn, you get whatever you bring in, we'll give you half.
Well, the percentage is so good to sell the show. The percentage is better than anywhere else.
To find anybody to work. And you'd think kids would do it. I've talked to kids. People just, no, maybe we're just not finding the right people, but I know a lot of other business owners who can't find people.
We're not alone. So many people.
And if people start to work, then they disappear.
50% commission is unheard of.
Right. So, I mean, we'll say that. Well, now that you brought it up, I will say that if you sell our show or any other show on Renew Media, which there's several shows on Renew Media and more coming, the commission structure is, I mean, I worked at iHeart and didn't get paid that. So 50% is amazing. So if you know anybody that wants to make good money and sell something that's easy to sell, especially if you're our show conservatives, but then we have other shows that are not conservative. We have like music shows and football shows, and we have other conservative shows too. And Derek has Lowdown in the Lou. I mean, look at all these different shows. You could make good money. And really, it's just getting on the phone and calling people.
It is. Emailing and calling, backing it up with calls. So anyway, those are some of the things that are going on. By the way, we've got another situation that's going on. We're going to see what happens with this whole Joe Biden before we get out of here. He says that the United States is going to respond for 3 Americans who were killed. Iran saying that it's linked to the Jordan drone attack deaths of U.S. soldiers, saying that they're baseless, that Iran's not backing these people. And they are. And of course, that's what they're going to say. And then all these people who are lying about Iran not being associated with Hamas and Hezbollah, when there are countless documents and evidence over the past just 10 years of them supporting these groups. Of course, they don't want to have their stuff blown up and done away with. With Biden in office, I doubt that's going to happen. If Trump was in office, it would be taken care. It never would have been done in the first place. And we all know that. Why do we know that? Because it wasn't done in the first place when Trump was in office. Because people know you don't do that shit. You don't do that shit to Donald Trump.
No,
It
you
doesn't.
don't.
It doesn't happen. Those things will not happen. We're not going to deal with that stuff, and we're not going to let it go through. We appreciate you guys watching. Joe, I think we got to everything, didn't we, buddy? I can't remember if there's anything else.
We have one more video.
What was? You know what? Was that Hillary?
Yeah,
we need to end on this.
Yeah, we do. Let's end on Hillary.
Hillary blaming you,
Mm-hmm.
blaming right-wing, saying, and this is that whole adage again. This comes out of the ISIS playbook and so many other Marxist things. Accuse others of what you're doing and what you're going to do.
Right-wing extremists already have a plan to literally steal the next presidential election. And they're not making a secret of it.
Makes sense after all.
The right-wing controlled Supreme Court may be poised to rule on giving state legislatures, yes, you heard me that correctly, state legislatures the power to overturn presidential elections. Just think, if that happens, the 2024 presidential election could be decided not by the popular vote or even by the anachronistic electoral college, but by state legislatures, many of them Republican-controlled. Right-wing extremists already have a plan to literally steal the next presidential election.
She says right-wing extremists have a plan to steal the election.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, yeah.
She's telling you what they're about ready to do.
We try to have some fun in the midst of all the seriousness, but accuse others of what you're doing or planning to do.
Yep.
Try to take the flashlight off of yourself and try to shine it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It is sad, it is sick, but it is part of the plan to try to keep Donald Trump out of the White House, because we already know there is another plan in place to destroy this country, one of which Donald Trump is not a part of. They already have the power, guys.
They do.
Sun's out. Enjoy.
Yes.
Go enjoy. Yes, we saw your test, RP, for a test there. No emotion. Looks and sounds a lot like it coming from Hillary. They have a plan to come and take it. Landon says, great show. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for your support for our show. We continue to do it the rest of the week, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, here Monday through Friday, of course, for canceltheshow.com. Anything else? We all good to go?
I think we covered it all. And you guys go have a good day. Free of bullshit. Just have a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. Don't get involved in bullshit.
For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust, who said, have a great day. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting here on canceltheshow.com.